So we have already got our model, we already made our prediction, already get this this is the matrix of our model, so we sort of just get that the score of our model using the R square. And let me just visualize things. Okay, so if you look at what I already draw that for you, you can actually do that in your notebook, and I think that's the better way of doing things, because you can't possibly every time just draw this data out. So let me quickly introduce you guys to a little bit about the PyPlot, because I think at the beginning of this we already import matplotlib, PyPlot, and PLT. So yeah, we haven't used that yet. Let's just use it. So because you already know this model, you already know what it should be. What if you don't know about this or this data? You sometimes need to use that plot functionality to just get a generalized idea of which direction to go. That's the common solution about the machine learning. But sometimes if you're doing deep learning, you don't need to worry about it. The computer will take care of everything else. But we need to make sense of things. That's why we human race exist. We want to make sense of this universe. So let's just don't dive too deep into deep learning yet, even though at deep learning we still got some theory behind it. So yeah, don't you worry about that. Okay, so if you want to use plot, just plt dots. First I'm going to just print out the data point in the 2D space, and just make sure that I'm dealing with the data right now. So you can use scatter plot for that. So scatter plot essentially just inputs the data to a in this case the 2D space. For example, the year of the experience, the salary will generate a 2D coordinates, and you can just pinpoint each of the data point here. So you are going to pass the x and y here. So the x right now would be the experience, and y will be the salary that we are going to predict. Okay, so we already got the train test split. So what I'm going to do is to get the x. I think I named the x train data, right? Train data. And of course you're going to get the y train data. The reason I use train data is that it's about the train test split. Okay, you can't use actual data right now. You can use the train data to figure out the data you used and the model you trained from the data. You're not going to use the actual test data, and because that will be mess things up, because you are going to plot something that you haven't used the data yet. We will use that when we compare the model, use the test data as well as the trained model. But let's just using the trained data and trained model for now. Okay, and of course you can even pass parameters. I think if you don't pass it, it will give a default parameter. You can specify the color of the dot. So I think you are going to pass a string here. So for example, I want say a black dot. Okay, you can just specify that. And of course, after you have done everything, you can use plt.show to actually show that. Okay, so let me just run this to code. Okay, so you already got this x-axis is years of experience. The y-axis will be the annual salary, and we use black dot to print it out. So it's sort of a data scattered like this, and it's pretty obvious that you are going to use a linear model for that. So if you are doing the data exploration and you haven't decided which model that you should use, you can just using scatterplot to plot those data out and just to just form a strategy of gain the maximum data from the data point that is given to you. And of course you can change that, say blue, something like that. You can just change the color a little bit. For example, you like red, you can just use red, or change all sort of color. So it really does not matter. But for me, I love black color, so black dot will be the old or boring things, and if I actually plot something, I will use a different colorful color for that. Okay, so once you've done that, you can plot another thing, which will be your model. So you can use something like this. So you can plt dot. Remember, the scatter is just a scatter plot, but if you actually want to plot something, okay, you can just use plot. It's completely two different things. Okay, so if you use plot, you're actually going to get that your model printed out. So for example, the x-axis still would be the x-train data, because you want the to have a same metrics for that, and the y-axis will be completely different. Y-axis will be a continuous function for that. Okay, so let's look at our model. We already got this linear model 001. Okay, so we're going to use that model, and with access model we can use the model to predict things. Okay, so predict things based on the input. So the input will be the x-train data. Okay, so we actually this is like using the y predictions as that. Okay, so I just input this because you put x train. We haven't write that yet. This is like pretty similar to this code. You can just imagine you use this model and you access that functionality to predict by using the input of x training data, and you can make your prediction based on training data. So basically, if you put x training data, you output y model prediction. So essentially just the outline, just a dot that exactly on that line. Okay, and this is using the model. This line is just using the model for prediction. Okay, so what I'm going to do is to, if you want to use the multiple steps, you can do something like this. You can do, sorry, let me just delete that. If you like to multiple steps, you can just single this out. Okay, so this will be all the dots. Let me use camel casing. All the dots on your prediction line, on your prediction model. Okay, so that will be to carry out the prediction using the X train. Okay, so once you got that, it's just a series of coordinates, of Y coordinates, and you can input that, and it's continuous process, and you can just delete this. I think this is much easier to understand. So you use this model, and this model just align. You got the training data, and you output the Y coordinates for that, and all the dots, all the dots Y coordinates, all the dogs, all the Y coordinates of dots on your prediction model. Okay, so I know this mouthful is pretty long, but I think it's easy for you to understand if you look at the code. Okay, and I'm going to share with the notebook with you guys, so you can go to my GitHub to just run that in using your instance. So I'm going to just copy that, all the Y coordinate of dots on your prediction model, and you got X and you got a Y, you got this line here. So once you got that, you can add a color for that. So that color will be, let's add something interesting. Let's add some blue or red line. Let me just use red line for that. Okay, so it's much more outstanding. But if you just to plot this and you just show plt.show, you will draw a completely different thing for you. Okay, since it's continuous line, so it take more time than this scatter plot. So you can see it got a pretty beautiful red line here. So what I'm going to do is to combine these two plot together. Okay, so in PyPlot, you can not only just plot one thing, but also you can plot multiple plot on a same image. So you're going to delete this show. Okay, so essentially you're going to get the scatter plot as well as another line here, and you're going to plot it in the same image. And as you guys can see, we got an image, we got all these actual training data points, as well as the model, the best fit we use in the ordinary least square to find the best line here. This you can think of the red line as the best or knowledge that you gain from all these data points of the experience. Then you generalize that, you got that, you learn your lessons, and this is the experience that you have. Okay, so that's pretty good. And of course you can even do something like this. So for example, because this x-axis will be the experience, years of experience, the y-axis will be the salary. So we can add a label here. Okay, so we can say that after this is just data. Okay, this will be the actual data, that will be the model, and we're going to add a label like this, plt.x label, and that will be the experience, years of experience the person have, the person have, right? And I'm going to duplicate it. Yeah, we can't duplicate it, and that's too bad. I have to manually do that, because if you use IDE locally, you can use Command and D to duplicate things. That will really make your programming much faster. Okay, so Y label would be the salary the person have. Salary the person is having right now, and you can rerun that, and you can see this X and Y label here, the years of experience person have, and you can even override that. So the X, okay, and there will be Y. Okay, so you can see I've already updated. Okay, so yeah, essentially that's how you use the data visualization of the PyPlot PLT to plot the data. So if you don't know which model to use, you can simply use the scatter plot to plot part of the data, and this is a linear regression model, so you can choose a linear regression model from your box and make your best fit and use model to use the best to get the prediction. And of course, if you want to check the actual test, so if you use your model into a real-time real-life testing, essentially you got this model, right? And you're going to plot this. So essentially you got this model, okay, and you use this model to predict the test data. And what I'm going to do is let me just show you how this model predicts the test data and what is the difference between the actual data as well as the prediction that the model have. So let me use a different thing. Okay, let me use this let me copy it and change it a little bit. So above it is the testing data. So that will be test, not train. White test. The color, let me change that to blue. All right, and y, all the y coordinate of the dots on your prediction model, on your not on prediction model is should be yeah, that'll be okay, I think, because we already got that. Yeah, that's a good one. So you can delete that. I think it's a duplicate. So this will be your model that you train. Still is the red line here, and this is actual data. So the test data, if you split that, is like you already trained that, and tomorrow this data just coming out. Another candidate coming in said, I have X years of experience, and can you guess the salary that I actually having right now, the annual salary? And this is just the test data, is like the real time scenario, the real life data just coming in, and you can just test your model, or whether your model just feed the data or not. Okay, so okay, so let's rerun that. So it will replot this for you. As you guys can see, this blue dots will be the real life data that I used to test your model, and your model do a pretty good fit. Okay, so if this person coming in and said that to guess my annual salary, and you use this model and you find his years of experience, you will guess that this person will have a maybe a 100,000 US dollars of income, and it's pretty close to this person's actual salary. Okay, so you actually grabs the make the right prediction, and of course this person coming in and guess his salary because of maybe 3 years of experience, and you guess that's pretty close to his actual salary. Okay, so this is this sort of visualization of how good your model is doing while you're doing the prediction. Okay.